Cats, they're among the best companions a human could ask for. While they can be mischievous at times, these furry friends are known to have been around with humans roughly since 10,000 years ago. It is no wonder why they are among the most popular pets around the world. But did you know that wasn't always the case in medieval Japan? Hello fellow crawlers, I'm Rika and you're tuning in Rika's Ramble. If you are familiar with the Shin Megami Tensei series, you're probably aware of Nekomata and her various beautiful anthropomorphic designs, as well as her abilities in games which are hardly used at all. Evil Touch, Terra Claw. Anyway, today we'll be exploring the tale of this particular yokai. Nekomata is a cat yokai or a cat demon that appears in Japanese legends, folktales, and ghost stories. They have mysterious powers and can understand human speech. Nekomata can be classified into two types. The first is a cat that used to live as a pet. The second is a cat that lives on the mountains. The figure of Nekomata depicted differs from region to region and from book to book, but it is often seen as a monster cat with a tail that's split into two. Like I said, Nekomata have been depicted in a lot of Japanese literature. One of the Japanese literature Meigetsuki, aka The Record of the Clear Moon by Fujiwara no Teika, in the early Kamakura period in Nanto, which is now Nara Prefecture. A Nekomata was said to have killed and eaten several people in one night. The author also described Nekomata as a mountain beast that has eyes like a cat and a large body like a dog. Surezuregusa, a collection of essays written by a Japanese monk, Kenko, between 3030 and 3032, stated that in the mountain recesses there are those called Nekomata, and people say that they eat humans. There are also Nekomata that can shapeshift into humans and deceive people, like the legend of Mount Nekomadake. Mount Nekomadake is a stratovolcano located west of Mount Bandai, close to Bandai Town and Kitashiobara village in Fukushima Prefecture. So in the north of Mount Nekomadake, there is a huge boulder, Nekoishi, or cat stone. So the legend was, long ago, there lived a Nekomata who disguised itself as a human in order to lure and eat humans. One day, Kobodaishi, a Japanese Buddhist monk, passed there and turned the cat monster into the stone. And that is Nekoishi, cat stone. In later literature, the mountain Nekomata tend to be larger. In the Shincho Manju, which is a collection of Japanese tales that was published in 1749, it stated that a Nekomata captured in the mountains of Ki province are as large as a wild boar. Honestly, I think it might be mountain lions, but who knows? Since Edo period, it has become generally believed that domestic cats turn into Nekomata as they grow old, and mountainous Nekomata have come to be interpreted as cats that have run away to live in the mountains. As a result, throughout Japan, there is a belief developed that cats should not be kept for long periods. In the Ansai Zuhitsu, the courtier Sadatake Ise stated, a cat that is several years of age will come to have two tails and become the yokai called Nekomata. The mid-Edo period scholar Arai Hakuseki stated, all cats become Nekomata and bewilder people, and indicated that at that time, it was common to believe that cats become Nekomata. Even the Edo period Kawaraban reported this strange phenomenon. In the book Yamato Kaiki, written by an unknown author in 1708, one story speaks of a rich samurai's haunted house where the inhabitants witnessed several poltergeist activities. In order to end those terrorizing events, the samurai called upon countless shamans, priests, and evokers, but none of them could help. One day, one of the most loyal servants saw his master's aged cat carrying in its mouth a shikigami with the samurai's name imprinted on it. Shikigami is a ceremonial spirit. To call a shikigami means to call a god, a demon, a yokai, or a ghost, and to utilize its powers for some deed or another, which means it can be used for good fortunes or to put a curse. Seeing that, the servant immediately shot a sacred arrow, hitting the cat in its head, and as it lay dead on the floor, everyone could see that the cat had two tails, and therefore it was concluded the cat had become a Nekomata. With its death, the poltergeist activities ended. Similar eerie stories about encounters with Nekomata appears in books such as Taihei Hyakumonogatari. written by Yusuke in 1723, and in Rochabanashi by Misaka Dayata in 1742. In Japan, cats are often associated with death, where it is said that the Nekomata have powers of necromancy. They can raise the dead, control them with ritualistic dances gesturing their paws and tails. The older and more abused a cat is, the more prone for them to have this kind of power. To gain revenge against those who wrong them, they would create a trick that torments a person. They would taunt them with visions of their loved one who already passed away. Some tales state that these demons assume human appearances, usually appearing as older women, behaving badly in public, and bringing gloom and malevolence wherever they travel. Due to this belief, sometimes kitten tails were cut off based on the assumptions that if the tails could not split, the cats could not become Nekomata. Fortunately, this custom of cutting a cat tail faded during Meiji and Taisho period. The belief that a cat could turn into Nekomata and turn evil affected the lives of many cats whose owners believed in this folklore. A number of the feline species would be left out in the cold after reaching a certain age. While this is a sad and cruel outcome for the cats, it was deemed necessary by those who believe in the folklore in order to prevent the transformations of a cat into Nekomata. In the Edo periods, many books illustrating and describing yokai were published, with Nekomata frequently depicted. The Hyakai Zukan, published in 1737, which is a picture scroll by Edo period Japanese artist Sawaki Sushi, had included an illustration of Nekomata taking an appearance of a woman playing shamisen. So during the Edo periods, shamisen were frequently made using cat skin. At that time, they had the belief that killing a cat, which is an evil existence, does not hurt the heart. For that particular matter, in this image, it was assumed that the Nekomata sang a sad song about its species as it plucked the strings of the shamisen. In the Gazo Hyaki Yagyo, a compendium of yokai, demons, and ghosts compiled by Toriyama Sekien, published in 1776, it depicted a cat with its head protruding from a shoji screen, a cat with a handkerchief on its head, where its forepaw on the veranda, and another cat is wearing a handkerchief and standing upright. This art was interpreted as the process of a normal cat transforming into Nekomata. And that is a little story about Nekomata. Whether this folklore is true or not, it is unwise to use this myth as a reason to torture a cat. If you're scared of them, just let them be. Anyway, you don't want them to turn into Nekomata and torture you instead, right?